A soldier suddenly spotted a little 3-year-old girl, curled up alone in a parking lot, under the glow of a red neon light. When he bent down and looked closely at her tiny face, his heart clenched. It was Lily, his own daughter. The moment left him frozen. But an even darker thought crashed into his mind. Aaron, why did you leave our child here? From that instant he was pulled into a shadowy journey, where one secret after another would come to light. The red neon sign of the 24-hour convenience store flickered softly, casting its color across a spreading puddle. The air still carried the smell of damp asphalt and gasoline fumes. Michael Carter pulled his pickup into a spot along the wooden fence. The rain had just stopped. The wipers scraped once more, dragging off the last streaks of water. He opened the door, grabbed a faded army duffel from the passenger seat. His plan was simple: go in, pick up some candy, a small teddy bear, drive straight back to the old house on Willow Street. He was locking the truck when he heard a small sob, thin as thread, breaking off behind the tail end of a silver sedan. Michael froze. His heartbeat quickened just a little faster than usual. The neon's buzz seemed louder in the empty space around him. He walked around the front of his truck. At the edge of the parking space, right on the white line, a little girl sat hunched, her back against the bumper, arms wrapped around her stomach. Her thin sweater was soaked through, her hair plastered to her temple. Canvas shoes sagged with water. "Hey, sweetheart. Are you?" Michael knelt. The cold, damp concrete soaked through his pant knees. He reached out, stopped halfway so as not to startle her. The girl looked up. Her eyelids were rimmed red, with a few raindrops still clinging. Her chin trembled. Her breathing was ragged, shallow, and then Michael froze in place. He looked closely at her face. Thin cheekbones, straight nose, eyes wide and guarded. For a split second, he saw himself at 7 years old, crouched under the tin awning of a mobile home outside Tulsa, with the rain coming down the same way, the asphalt carrying the same smell. The image flashed past, leaving a weight in his throat. It was Lily. There was no mistake. Though his duty had kept him away, a father's instinct could never fail. When meeting his own child, Michael lifted his head, eyes sweeping the lot. The ATM, the metal trash bin, the air pump. He searched for a figure. A shadow searched for Aaron. The name slipped out like reflex. Nothing. Only the manager adjusting the open 24 hours sign, and an SUV spraying water as it rolled past the curb. Why would Aaron leave Lily here alone? Aaron, why did you leave our child here? His voice carried into the dark, as though speaking at the right pitch might summon her silence. Michael saw the girl's shoulders shiver beneath the sweater and leaned closer. "We should get out of the rain smell. Come on." He helped her to her feet. The wet fabric scraped faintly as it shifted. He covered her head with the fold of his jacket and led her toward his truck. The passenger door swung open. The scent of leather seats, of dry road dust. He eased her onto the seat, lowered the backrest. No child's booster. He pulled the seatbelt across, tightened the coat around her into a makeshift cocoon. "This might feel tight," he said, "but it'll keep you steady." She nodded barely. Her head rested against the side of the seat. Michael closed the door, circled to the driver's side. He stopped for a moment, turned back toward the lot, as if making sure he hadn't missed something. A note, a glance, some trace. Aaron might have left nothing but pooled water and the hum of the store's air conditioner. He climbed behind the wheel. His hand gripped the steering wheel until the knuckles whitened. In the rear view, her eyes glimmered in the dark, reflecting the neon's red glow, unblinking. "Do you want something to eat?" he asked. Her lips moved. Then she shook her head. "I just want to go home." "Please, Dad." Michael nodded. The decision came quickly, sharp as a switch being thrown. He turned the key. The engine caught with a steady hum. The wipers brushed away a few stray drops. Michael reached a switch on the heater, directing the vent toward her seat. "It'll warm up soon," he said, his voice calmer now, as though speaking to himself. He glanced over his shoulder, checked the seatbelt again. "I'm taking you somewhere safe." Though she had never met her father in person, only seen him in a photograph, the depth of his love made Lily feel safe, ready to follow. That sacred bond between father and daughter had crossed every boundary. The parking lot slipped away behind them. The red neon stretched across the puddles, unraveling like tangled thread, pulled toward the rear window. His heart raced not from fear, but from knowing. He had stepped into a place without a name. Michael steered onto the main road, heading for the old house. The rain had thinned to a mist, yet the smell of damp asphalt clung stubbornly, like the echo of a choice that couldn't be undone. In the back seat, the girl tugged the coat up to her chin, eyes closing in the rear view. Michael saw that face too familiar, too close, and Aaron was nowhere to be found. In any corner of the night. He pressed the gas. The neon lights stretched farther across the puddles, pulling the chaos along with them. The rain had stopped completely by the time the pickup turned into the Aurora suburbs. The streets were empty, the street lights a pale yellow, the houses silent. Michael turned on to Willow Street and pulled up in front of a single-story house, clad in light gray siding. The porch light was off, the front door stood ajar. He got out and opened the back door. The girl was still curled up inside his army jacket, her eyes swollen from crying. "We're here," he said softly. She nodded once the front door creaked. As he pushed it open, a musty smell rose up at once, like a closet left closed for too long. Michael laid a hand on the switch. The ceiling bulb flickered once, then steadied. The living room was bare. A faded Christmas photo on the wall. Unopened cartons stacked along the baseboards. The carpet showed streaks of dried mud. From the kitchen came the faint, steady hum of the refrigerator. "Wait here." He bent down, looked straight at the girl. "I'll check." She clutched at his shirt for a moment, before letting go, then backed up to the edge of the sofa and sat down, her feet not touching the floor. On a low shelf sat an old teddy bear, its left ear sun-faded. Michael handed it to her. "You can hold this." She hugged it close, squeezing lightly, her eyes still glistened. He walked into the kitchen. The table was littered with bills. Aurora Water, Excel Energy, a stack from First Bank, and one printed in red past due. At the corner, a few empty beer cans, silver labels blotted with water. Michael opened the fridge. The yellow bulb blinked on, showing nothing but a jar of mustard, months past its date, on the top shelf. An empty milk carton sat upright. He shut the door. The thud of plastic echoed into the silence. "Aaron," Michael called, his voice carrying down the hall. No answer. He moved quickly from room to room. The master bedroom, bed bare of pillows, blanket thrown askew. The bathroom, faint streaks still on the mirror, but already cold and dry. The office papers scattered, a charger dangling with nothing attached. Every door opened to more silence. He pulled out his phone, scrolled to Aaron's name, called. The ring went on, then cut off. He called again. This time it rang longer, switched to voicemail. "This is Aaron. Leave a message." He hesitated, left nothing, hung up, pressed again, ringing. Then dead. A bead of sweat broke loose at his temple, though the house was cooling fast. Michael stepped onto the porch and opened the metal mailbox. Inside, paper damp with smell. Ads, envelopes from the bank marked account alert. A warning from the credit card company. His finger stopped at the words "final notice." Numbers flared in his head like traffic lights. He shoved the pile under his arm, shut the box, and glanced at the neighbors' porches. Dark cars lined neatly in driveways, the kind of stillness that follows rain. Back inside, he dropped the letters on the table. His eyes caught on a picture frame face down. He turned it over. Aaron, half smiling behind sunglasses. Sunlight on her shoulder, phone raised in her hand. Around the frame, a thick rim of dust, proof it hadn't moved in a long time. Michael swallowed hard, his mind filled with the memory of video calls. From deployment, Aaron in a lit kitchen saying, "Lily's asleep, honey." Then sending him a handful of old photos, playgrounds, ice cream smeared on her mouth, a polka dot dress each time he asked for more. The answer was the same: tomorrow. "I'm too tired tonight." And he believed her out there on base. He clung to those scraps like a rope. Now the rope was slipping. He turned back to the sofa. "Are you tired?" he asked, kneeling level with her eyes. Lily rubbed them a little. "Have you eaten?" She gave a tiny shake of her head. "We'll figure that out," he said, rising to fetch a thin blanket draped over the chair. Laying it across her legs, she pulled it closer, pressing her cheek unconsciously against the bear's worn ear. Michael called again, ringing. Cutoff. He switched to text. Call me now. The exclamation mark appeared. Then nothing. He set the phone on the table, but left one finger touching its edge, as if to hold it in place. Lily shifted, pulled the blanket higher. Her eyes sliding shut, her lips moved, breath steadying. Then in the blurred space of half-sleep, she whispered as though to someone not there. Mum drove away and left me in the parking lot. Michael sat up straight, not because it was loud, but because it was just clear enough. A chill spread across his back, like a refrigerator door left open. The scattered pieces in his head clicked together, in a way that made his stomach turn. He looked toward the window. The driveway, wet tree shadows heavy. Aurora's sky cleared again. Erin's car was nowhere. He reached for his phone. His thumb tapped her name once more, reflective. Before the ring even started, he clenched the phone in his hand, breath rushing, chest tight. His lips pressed together, then forced open, too harsh to be a whisper, not quite loud enough for a shout. Erin, what the hell are you doing? Michael stood frozen in the middle of the living room, his own words still hanging in the air. He turned back toward the sofa. Lily had drifted off, her head resting on her arm, the teddy bear covering half her face. Gently he pulled the army jacket up over her shoulders, angled the lamp so the light wouldn't shine into her eyes. Her breathing was steady, faint warmth rising through the fabric. He began searching the house. The drawer under the TV stand, jammed with swollen papers. Michael yanked it hard, spilling out a stack of envelopes. He sorted quickly, junk mail, utility notices, then a thick sealed envelope from First Bank. He tore it open. A credit card statement packed with columns of numbers. Heavy debt piled with late fees. The words minimum payment due bolded and ignored. The date in the corner showed just a few weeks ago. He folded it, slipped it into his jacket pocket, his eyes never leaving Lily for more than a beat. On the kitchen counter sat an old shoebox, stuffed with papers. Michael lifted the lid. On top was a money order, purchased at a check-cashing shop on East Colfax, payable to a name he didn't know. The memo line left blank. The pen's pressure dug deep into the paper. Beneath it, clipped together, a motel receipt. Colfax in room 214. Paid in cash, check in 2 nights ago. A coffee stain bled across the margin. Michael exhaled through his teeth. Erin's image rose up, half smile behind sunglasses. Then those calls. Lily's asleep. The loose fragments in his head began shifting. The pace inside him shifted gears. Jake O'Connor's name flashed across his mind. An old buddy from the unit, now running a garage on Peoria Street. The kind who always knew about plates and the cameras around town. Michael pulled out his phone. Typed fast, Jake. I need you, call me back now. He turned back to the sofa, knelt down, get some sleep. He whispered almost to the air itself. Lily stirred faintly, curled tighter inside the jacket. Michael checked the locks. The porch light, then grabbed his duffel, slipping the receipts, money order and bank statement. Inside he lifted Lily. Light as a blanket, she didn't wake. He held her head close against his chest, carried her to the truck, buckled her in, cinched the jacket into a small cocoon. Back in a minute, he told himself, though the engine was already running. The quick way by. The gas station still glowed, open 24 hours. Red neon stretched across the lot. Michael carried Lily inside. The door chime jingled softly. The air smelled of stale coffee, syrup and mop water. The manager name tag reading RAC. COT. T looked up from the counter. Early 30s, hair tied back. Sports watch on her wrist.